research on that. Um, so, but as me being a teacher and thinking about these 10 people, it was hard to come up with a list. You know what I'm saying? Because at first I thought maybe these 10 rappers are going to teach a class today, but we're teaching the class today. So class is in session. So you want me to go first, Vertees, or you want to go?
Oh, it's up to you, man. I'm good either way.
Okay, so I'm. I guess I'll go first. I'll go
Or if
first.
you want to go back and forth,
Okay, we can do that. I'll let you start.
okay, man. So the first person I had was Curtis Blow. And the reason why I had Curtis Blow, he was the first rap superstar. Like, he was the first person to really make money in rap. He had the first gold record with the breaks. You know, he was the first rapper to sign to a major record label, Mercury Records. So I feel like, to really encapsulate him, like, Curtis Blow, he had some of the early hit songs from the breaks to basketball. He was someone that basically laid the foundation to other people to be like, you know what? This is a genre that we can actually enter into and we can actually make real money in. And if you can't make money in something, a lot of people might not even have the inspiration to enter into it. So Curtis Blow, that's who I would start off with. Boom.
Yeah, I'm starting off with Rakim. Your favorite rapper, GOAT. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start off with Rakim, um, because he's like I said, he's probably your favorite rapper. So it's like when you talk to people like old school rappers like Jay Z, Nas, you know what I'm saying, Pac and Biggie, they probably go mention Rakim in that light as some of their tops or a person at the top of their list of their best rappers. So that's why I'm starting out with Rakim.
And it's funny, man. My second rapper is actually Rakim,
Mhm.
because when hip hop first started, it was just like party music. Curtis Blow and Sugar Hill Gang and all them people, like, they were just making songs that they played at parties and stuff like that. Rakim was the first rapper to really say, "Yo, let's get lyrical." And if you listen to a lot of like the rappers you just named, like his lyrics was so ahead of his time in the '80s. Like, he was the first lyrical rapper, but also the first real storyteller in rap. And the whole art form of rap is built around storytelling. I don't feel like you can tell the history of hip hop without Rakim, because a lot of people will tell you, man, I love this rapper, because they're a great storyteller. I love this rapper because of their lyrics. Rakim was the first one to actually say, "Yo, we're gonna put that in hip hop."
Yeah, yeah. So next I got Ice Cube. I got Ice Cube next because MWA, like, you know what I'm saying? Easy E was the face of that, but Ice Cube was the pen behind it. Dr. Dre had the beats, but it's like Dr. Dre wasn't really a rapper. You know what I'm saying? He was a rapper, but he rapped, but I consider him more of a producer, and you know what I'm saying, than a rapper. And I believe out of that group, Ice Cube the was the rapper, and from what they came from, well, all of them, and then what Ice Cube have done with the movies, the acting, his son now being a major actor. You know what I'm saying? It's just him as a person, as an actor, as a if it wasn't he started in rap, if it wasn't for that, there would be no Friday. It would be no almost one of everybody's favorite movies, Friday. You know what I'm saying? People still talk about Friday to this day. They begging for another one. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put Ice Cube on there.
And I want to let the listeners know, man. Me and Rose had talked beforehand, and we all gonna do something a little bit different when we do our list. Most of the time, we just give our list, and that's it. When we finish giving our list, we will come down to a consensus list, y'all, where we have to talk to each other and find 10 of these people to agree upon. So far, out of the first three names, we only got one person we agree on. I got LL Cool J. You know, if Curtis Blow was the first rap superstar, man, LL Cool J was the first megastar. He took what Curtis Blow, boom. Def Jam is one of the biggest record labels hip hop has had in its history. Def Jam ain't Def Jam without LL Cool J. Def Jam was like LL Cool J was the first one to bring swag to hip hop. You know, the way he wore his gold chains, the way he worked out, he brought the sex appeal to hip hop. He brought the first rap ballad where you could actually make a song for the ladies. You know, he was that one who brought the ladies into hip hop because it was just so urban up until LL Cool J. But then LL Cool J started getting on the mic, and then you had brothers who wanted to be him, ladies who wanted to be with him. And we didn't have that to LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool James. Grab the mic.
Yeah, true that, true that. I wanted to put them on my list. It was so hard to have some lists, but we're gonna get it together. We're gonna get it together. So next up, I got Puff Daddy. I got
Okay.
I got
Can't
Puff.
stop. Won't stop.
Yeah, I got Puff Daddy next, man. I talked about Dr. Dre
And
earlier.
Puff Daddy with the baby or without it.
Both of them. You know what I'm saying? All three of his names. You know what I'm saying? Puff Daddy, Diddy. You know what I'm saying? The Diddler, whatever you want to call him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Puff Daddy, because we're gonna talk about another guy on my list. But if it wasn't for Puff Daddy, man, so much stuff. Like he's had his hands in so much things within hip hop and within rap. You can't you can't you can't teach a class without talking about Puff Daddy.
So I got someone that's similar to Puff Daddy P Diddy, and he's connected to Ice Cube. I'm going Dr. Dre, and I know he's mostly a producer, but you know he raps too, and he's a big component of hip hop. Now the reason why I went Dr. Dre, one, he was the first major producer in hip hop. Like he was the first person that really was like the production of the song, the producer might be more important than the actual rapper. We never thought that to Dr. Dre. Two, he was basically the foundation of NWA. He brought us Easy E. He brought us Ice Cube. He eventually brought us Eminem. And without NWA, we don't get gangster rap. And that's the other reason why Dr. Dre is so important to this list. Because we went from making party music, we went from being flashy in our rhymes, we went from just telling stories to Dr. Dre, you know, basically with NWA, they started telling gangster rap stories. And that started a whole nother genre in hip hop that even to this day is still going on.
Okay. Next on my list, I'm trying to think who I need to go with, but I'm gonna jump out there. I'm going Tupac. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite rappers of all time, dead or alive. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how people now disrespect All Eyes on Me. Talking about, oh, it didn't age well, or this that wasn't a classic. And like, pull it up.
You need to listen to it again.
Pull it up. Pull it up. Come on, man. Man, we could talk all day about Tupac, but I'm going Tupac, man. Gotta have him on the list, man. Man,
Well,
got shot 5 times and he was still breathing.
hey man, we 2 for 5, bro. I got Tupac because of all the reasons you named, but Tupac was the first global star in hip hop. The first global star. Like he took hip hop to a level that we did not think it could reach to. Also, yeah, Tupac did rap about gangster stuff, but he was like one of the, like you could say Chuck D, because Chuck D did rap a lot of conscious stuff, but unfortunately, and there's no disrespect to Chuck D and Public Enemy, they never reached the popularity of Tupac. Tupac was the first major person of his level to rap consciously, but not just rap consciously, to rap politically. Like he let it be known that, hey, we can use our words to inspire people, to inspire generations, and he motivated a lot of people. There was a lot of people that was inspired by Tupac. You know, he told the struggle of the everyday civilians. Like Tupac didn't just say, "Yo, I'm just a gangbanger." No, he actually told you how it was growing up in the hood, which was one of the first times we actually heard that kind of storytelling from a rapper who was telling you not what the nigga with the gun was doing, the nigga who lived next door who heard the gunshots, what they was doing. You know, and Tupac is very influential into hip hop. You know, and then this is the last part. He showed rappers, yo, we can make movies, dog. Like he was the first big rapper to make a lot of movies. Yeah, you had Ice T who had did a movie here and there, and you know there was some other rappers who had kind of did some stuff, but Tupac was actually becoming a movie star, and so when you see ASAP Rocky do highest to lowest, you know when you see Ti in the movies, when you see Andre 3000 take a break from hip hop to start acting and stuff like that, when you see 50 Cent what he's doing with Power, who you think inspired them to do all that? Came from Tupac.
Next person on my list, they're connected. I wanted to put them as one person so I could add more people to my list, but Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, baby, baby. When we talk about like Vertesie talking about lyricists, storytelling, he he might have been the best to ever do it. He's the only person I heard say some gay stuff and make it sound good. And it's like, oh, this guy is so hypnotizable that he can say gay things and make it sound good, and every straight man be saying it and don't even say pause. Man, shout out to the Biggie Smalls, man.
Hey man, we 3 for 6, bro. I went Biggie too, man. You know, and for all the same reasons you just said, except for the gay shit. But he's connected with Tupac. You gotta have Tupac and Biggie because it's the first time in hip hop where it showed that these words matter. That what you say on the mic can lead to you dying. You know, they both made songs, and there is even though Biggie's song "I Shot You" wasn't a deliberate diss song, but those songs had people thinking they was connected. It led to their deaths, unfortunately, and it showed, yo, this is serious. As well as Biggie, one of the best storytellers in hip hop. Like he took storytelling to a whole nother level. The lyricism he took to a whole nother level and inspired so many people. And he made New York rap because at one point in time, Tupac as well as the West Coast had started taking over to the point. Biggie brought the East Coast back, brought New York back. And without Biggie, do we get a Jay Z? Do we get a Nas? Do we get a DMX eventually? Like he really put New York back on the forefront and inspired a lot of people who came after him.
Yeah, so next I'm going Jay Z because he is the guy that most um, benefited from Pac and Biggie dying. If it wasn't for Pac and Biggie dying, Jay Z is not Jay Z today. There's no way that Jay Z is the person that he is today if it wasn't if Pac didn't die and Biggie didn't die. So Jay Z, one of the I'm not sure if he was the first or I know he's one of the first billionaires rappers that became billionaires. Um, I think probably Dr. Dre probably was the first one, but I'm not 100% sure. But I believe it was Dr. Dre, but it might have been somebody before Dr. Dre. But I remember
Nah, I think those are only two.
Okay,
Dr.
so
Dre and Jay Z.
yeah, so become a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Had the baddest chick in the game wearing his chain. You know what I'm saying? Hey man. Then we talked about the rap beef and words and the song means something. You know what I'm saying? him and Nas had that beef, and that turned that right there because it led to, oh yeah, we can have battle rap and nobody got to die. We can keep it on wax.
True.
We can keep it on wax and both make money off of it.
True.
So, Jay-Z.
I'm gonna stick with New York before I go to my next person because I want to go back to Biggie. I left something out. Another big part about Biggie is, because unfortunately, I'm just gonna spoiler. I don't have a female rapper, and that really hurt my heart to not be able to put a female rapper on here. But Biggie gave us Little Kim, and that gave us the introduction of female rappers being stars. Um, Now, hey, we agreed two in a row. Now we disagreeing again. I don't have Jay Z. I know a lot of people are gonna be mad about that, and I'll explain why later. I got Outkast. They brought the South into it, and yeah, there was other people. You could say 3 6 Mafia. You could say Master P, but they became so mainstream with it that we probably don't get how the South has taken over hip hop the last 20 years of Outkast doing everything they did in hip hop. They have one of the most viral moments in hip hop history where Andre says the South got something to say. And that was a very powerful moment in hip hop. We got them talking about the street life, but as well as we got a lot of creativity and weird stuff from Outkast, sounds that we had not really heard in hip hop before, sounds that was different. Like when you hear the song "Bombs Over Baghdad," I remember listening to a conversation last year, and there was somebody, in fact, it was Bomani Jones saying when he heard it for the first time, it was so different. It sounded like it was a song made for the future, and they was experimenting with those kind of sounds that led to other people in hip hop and not talk too long on them. We gave them their props and their roses and their crowns when they got inducted. It was it hip hop? Was it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And there was a lot of people that kept saying, we are not who we are without Andre 3000 and Big Boy because they showed us that we could be different. And I think that's the biggest reason why I have Outkast on the list is the courage to be different than what everyone else was doing. And what is hip hop about? It's about exploring new sounds and being different. And there's a lot of popular rappers of the last 20 years that did that.
Okay, so next I got Nas next because I couldn't put JC on there without putting Nas. Just like if I was gonna put Biggie on there or Pac on there, I couldn't put neither one of them without the other because, like I said, talking about when we go back to Biggie, talking about storytelling, doing different things in the hip hop, having the kids come in, you know what I'm saying, making dreams come true for kids, and you know what I'm saying. Nas was one of those guys that he didn't do a lot of things, but his word spoke to millions. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do a lot of things, but he could let the pen write. He could let the pen talk. And he let that pen talk lots and lots and lots. You know what I'm saying? Vertesie say he's like some of his older stuff and his newer stuff compared to some of his older stuff, but had if I can make Jay Z and Nas one person, if I can make Pac and Biggie one person, I would have. But I put Nas on there.
Oh man, bro. Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, audience. We gonna have a lot of work to do when we get done. Cause right now we only 3 for 8. um, Eminem gotta put the white boy on it. He just brought a whole different audience to hip hop that we hadn't really had before. Like, yeah, we had Vanilla Ice and yeah, we had the Beastie Boys, but they just didn't have the success that Eminem did. And it wasn't as authentic as his success. Where like Vanilla Ice felt like a gimmick, and no offense to the Beastie Boys, when you listen to the music, it's kind of weird. It sounds a lot rockish more than hip hopish, to be honest. But Eminem was like truly hip hop, you know, and it brought a whole different audience. And without that, like the rappers don't make the money that they're making now, like without the white audience, and it allowed a lot of other black artists to tap into that, as well as when we talk about storytelling, when we talk about lyricism, you know, he took what Rakim did, he took what Biggie did, and he just took it to a whole nother level with songs like "Staying," that was like one of the greatest storytelling songs in hip hop, as well as a lot of the people that he inspired after him. There's a lot of rappers over the last 15 years that are here because of Eminem. You get a Kendrick Lamar, you get a J. Cole, you get some of my favorite artists like a Logic and like a Jordan Lucas who are truly inspired by Eminem. Um, I'll say this right here. I felt like I typed this up because I wanted to make sure I articulate this very well. Because I'm gonna put it in basketball terms. Pac and Biggie are Magic and Bird. They breathed Magic and Bird brought the NBA to life. And that's what Pac and Biggie did. They made hip hop boom. And then MJ took it to a level that we never thought it would reach, where people could become truly rich off of it. Eminem did what MJ did for hip hop. He made it where niggas could really, really become truly millionaires from just picking up a mic because of the audience that he brought to hip hop, which hip hop had never had before.
Yeah, I got Slim Shady on the list. I won't go say him yet, but I got Slim Shady on my list. And what I'm not disagreeing with what you said about him bringing he did bring a whole nother he brought a whole nother audience, and that's how he was able to be who he was. And then I can't say people didn't start looking at it differently or buying. They probably did. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
somebody looking at hip hop differently.
Yeah.
When you look at hip hop before him, a lot of the rappers did not have a white fan base. But then when you look at after Eminem, a lot of the biggest people who endorse hip hop are white dollars statistically. You know, and to me, like I just feel like that's a correlation. Once he came into it, white people said, "Oh, let's check this out," and then guess what happened? They got introduced to a Jay-Z, a DMX, and all these other rappers, and was like, "Oh wow, this is very interesting," or whatever. It's kind of like what Caitlin Clark did for the WNBA. Now you got people who did not know who Adrian Wilson was, and like, yo, this bitch can ball. Since you did say Eminem, I did fuck up like I did with Big. I forgot to say one more thing. He also showed us he created the two persona. And before Eminem, most of the time when a rapper had a name like Jay-Z or Ice Cube or Ice-T, we didn't think about them as two different people. He actually was Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers, and he made it very clear in his music. He dropped albums called the Marshall Mathers LP, then he dropped the Slim Shady Show, and we ended up getting what? T.I., Tip. We ended up getting rappers who like, I'm Kanye, you know, and Kanye was two different people. Like we ended up getting rappers who like literally created a persona just for hip hop, but then let you see the other side of themselves too.
Yeah. And did I call him Eminem or did I call him Slim Shady? I have him on my. I didn't call him Eminem on my list. I called him Slim Shady.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't remember which one I called him, but I'll go back and listen to it. It's on wax.
Yeah.
It's a good thing about doing it on wax. We can go back and listen to it and see what I've said. But yeah, I got Slim Shady on there. Just because kind of sort of same thing, like because when he came out, the white fans showed out. You know what I'm saying? They showed out. They showed out, and I'm gonna tell you this:
Hey,
his numbers.
You might not get a little Yachty if I Eminem, to be honest.
His numbers wouldn't have been the same if it wasn't for the white people.
Oh no, I completely agree.
But you can't take that away because the numbers are numbers. They don't lie. But yeah, Slim Shady, you can't tell the rap game without Slim Shady because he broke in because like you said, it was other people, but it wasn't nobody that everybody adopted.
Yeah.
Everybody adopted him, they still have push. He had a lot of pushback, but they couldn't deny he did his thing.
Yeah.
And
He had enough of black fans where we accepted him,
mm-hmm.
but the white people embraced him. And hey man, Lil Yachty, if you want to be real, Lil Yachty and Uzi Vert, I think they got more white fans than black fans. If you want to be real, like there's so many black rappers nowadays that they live just off of white dollars.
Yeah, and like 50, like with him co-signing 50 would not be who he was if it wasn't for M co-signing him.
I mentioned how a lot of people brought people. M brought 50 into the game because that's a contribution to hip hop history.
Because 50 would not be 50 if it wasn't for M co-signing him, and I'm standing on that.
All right, man. So we got four. So for my ninth nigga, Kanye West. I talk about with Outkast creativity and being different. We don't get a Kanye West without Outkast, because what Kanye did with College Dropout was so much different than what we heard. He took rap from being about the streets and gangster to about going to school, about dropping out, about then graduating, about, just to be honest, everyday life stuff that a lot of civilians understood. Because what most of these rappers rap about, I'm just gonna be real, most civilians don't relate to that shit. Most of them ain't never sold the pack. They ain't never ran a train on a bitch. They ain't never, did coke, But then Kanye came and he rapped about just ordinary life. Also, he was one of the first rappers to really be like, man, I'm a producer too. And he produced so many of his tracks, and he showed that, yo, man, y'all need to produce your beats. And it inspired, for better or worse, let me be real, for better or worse, because some of these rappers be producing their own songs, Rozay, and they need to just get an actual producer. It did inspire a lot of rappers to then say, you know what, I can produce my own shit or whatever. And it inspired people who was producers to say, yo, I can step into the booth, like I said, for better or for worse, because some of the niggas need to stay in the fucking booth. What did Drake tell Metro Boomin? Niggas shut up and make some drums. Some of the niggas need to stay and do that shit. But, it created that genre that we hear today called backpack rap. That's what Kanye did. And you got a Lupe because of that. You got a Kid Cudi because of that. You got a Wiz Khalifa because of that. You got a Wale because of that. You even got a Drake because of that. And then the biggest thing is he introduced with his samples. I don't know if you've ever been online and looked up some of Kanye's crazy samples. Like Kanye is a genius for this point alone. He took country songs, rock songs, and sampled them into hip hop, neo songs, old school R&B songs. He even took songs from the 70s, funk songs, and made them popular things. And man, hey, he rapped on. He made a song they called Jesus Walks. And changed the whole narrative about, yo, I can rap about whatever I want if I do it well enough. It'll get record play.
Yeah, I had him on my list. I wanted to put him on my list, so that's gonna be easy. We can probably fit him in there. That's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy. That's gonna be easy. But next I got on my list Master P. Master P.
Oh man. I was, what's so crazy? He's on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, I had to put Master P on there because he was the first rapper / business owner, whatever. He was dropping albums every month. And then like when you back then you just had to buy the albums, and then like with his cover art and everything else, like he made the cover art make you might not even want to listen to the album, but you wanted to collect the cover art. You know what I'm saying? Just to have the cover art in the binder and just collect it so you can read it and look at it. It was crazy, man. And then he brought a whole era to rap and hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Talking about drugs and all kind of stuff. The Ice Cream man, is and then he brought out he put so many people
Stunting.
on, and it brought light to everybody in New Orleans and everything. Man, I had to put Master P on there because that era of rap and hip hop in the '90s, it was unmatched, and it hasn't been matched to this day.
Let me tell you something funny, man. He was so close to being on my list, and let me tell you what's so funny. That's probably gonna be one of the people that I'm actually gonna concede and swap him out for someone when we have to make our list together. And some people might be mad and be like, "But damn, why you exchange Master P, but you didn't, concede on these niggas?" It's so hard to deny Master P's greatness for what he did because you don't get a Jay-Z without Master P. You don't get some of these business savvy people without Master P. He did lay the blueprint for a lot of that stuff. And how you were saying about dropping the music so often, like that's actually kind of the reason why I got this last person. My last person, man, Lil Wayne. There was a 4-year stretch where Lil Wayne took over the rap game, and he was the only one. Like, if you did not say he was the best rapper, you got into real arguments, and that's how dope Lil Wayne was. But to your point about what Master P, how he was dropping the shit all the time, Lil Wayne had like a 3 to 5 year stretch where he dropped the album every year and a mixtape. He had years where he dropped the album and 2 mixtapes in the same year. But during that same course, he was also on other people's songs. Like, Lil Wayne changed the rap game so much because, like, before Lil Wayne, outside of Master P, a lot of rappers was not dropping music that fast. They would kind of disappear for at least a year or two before they dropped another project. And Lil Wayne was like, "Nah, I'm gonna just consistently drop music." To the point where when you get like I don't know if you pay attention to one of the criticisms on Kendrick Lamar, Rozay. One of the criticisms of Kendrick Lamar is he takes so long to drop music. But the funny part is that he only get that criticism because people are holding him to the standard that Lil Wayne gave us in the 2000s, where he was making music so fucking often that it was just ridiculous how often he was making music. Also, he was the first black rapper. I talked about Eminem to actually tap into Eminem's white fan base. Like, when you look at Lil Wayne's fan base, it's a lot of maggots in that. It's a lot of maggots in that. And that was before he was supporting Trump. Like, he had a lot of white people that supported him. And even though Lil Wayne rapped about gangster stuff, I'm going to be real. If you really listen to Lil Wayne's lyrics, like, that was maybe 10% of his music. But Lil Wayne was probably the first rapper, and I say this respectfully, to rap about nothing. To just get on the track and just rap. And it sound cool. There was no meaning behind the shit. There was no message. He actually made being a rapper like a comedian. Like, when you hear a comedian tell a joke, Rozay, and you're just waiting for the punchline, that's what Lil Wayne did.
Yeah.
He made it where it was not even about listening to the story of the song no more. It was just about just the punchline in the song. And then what happened? A lot of other rappers tried to emulate the same thing. Fuck the meaning of the song. I just want to say something cool that you could just repeat to your friends. Mm-hmm. Like only G's moving sounds like lasagna. Mm-hmm. Then he started singing on the hooks too, like Lollipop and stuff. And then other rappers started imitating that. He gave us Nicki Minaj, who you can make the argument is the greatest female rapper of all time. He gave us Drake, who's the most successful commercial rapper of all time. And then he inspired a whole wave of another generation of artists. So, that would be my 10. Who from my list are you willing to be like, you know what, I'm going to take this person off my list to exchange it for someone on your list?
I'll tell you that in a little bit, but because I still got one more. You went first.
Oh, I did go first. My bad. I apologize.
So it was funny that was your last rapper because it would be no Lil Wayne without Birdman. Brian Williams. Got him on the list because, like I said, with Jay-Z and Nas, Tupac and Biggie, Master P and Birdman, they brought us things and did things in the rap industry that nobody has done. Birdman, if Birdman wouldn't have found this 12-year-old kid and took him under his wing, there would be no Drake. There would be no, you know what I'm saying, Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? He brought us one probably argument the probably the one of the best top five. I could definitely say top five songs ever. You know what I'm saying? Back that thing up with Juvenile.
Yeah.
Juvenile. You know what I'm saying? He created stunting. You know what I'm saying? It's like that was he's still doing things to this day, but we wouldn't have some of the things in rap if it wasn't for Birdman. So I had to put him on the list because he brought us some of those things, and those things still going on today. It's like stunting. Every rapper that come out now, they gotta have a chain. They gotta have something. They gotta be stunt. They gotta be something like show how much money they got, even though they might not have no money at all. They could be wearing fake chains, but everybody want to be a stunner. Like baby, everybody want to be the number one stunner. Everybody want to be the number one stunner, and it went from not just rappers, but to regular people. To regular people, like it's a wave that has never stopped since he started it. And he put he put gold teeth and diamonds and in his grill, and to this day, people are still doing that, and it ain't died.
And TK Kirtland got a story about Birdman saying he was the first person I met that doesn't respect money. And they said, "What you mean?" When I went to his place, and this was